Good evening and welcome to Have I Got News For You. I'm Jack D. In the news this week, after a recent spate of thefts from the Brighton Aquatic Centre, store detectives are confident they've finally got their man. At Heathrow, British Airways invites the press to the new Terminal 5 building to reassure them that everything is finally running smoothly. And there's further proof that animals grow to look like their owners as a judge at Crufts inspects Anne Widdecombe's pet dog. On Paul Merton's team tonight is a writer and performer whose pilot show for his BBC series was described by The Observer as so low budget its backdrop looked like it was made out of cardboard. Make yourself at home, Peter. Please welcome Peter Serafinowicz. And with Ian Hislop tonight is a Labour MP, and obviously balance is an important issue for the BBC, so we should point out that there are plenty of other useless parties you could waste your vote on. Please welcome, or in the interests of balance, boo Bob Marshall-Andrews MP. And we start with round one. Ian and Bob, take a look at this.
Sell Brown. Sell him. Sell him. Yes. No one's buying. That's it. That's where Gordon's going to move when he leaves.
Pope. That's the Pope. Right there, that's the Pope.
That's not the Pope, is it?
No, that's Neville Chamberlain. Excellent. Good.
Right, well, we've got that right then. You spent all that time getting rid of Blair, and you've ended up with Brown. I mean, when you said Blair was an electoral liability, did you know what was coming?
We had a sort of rumble. But you see, there was the Pope there talking about getting rid of
You can't
Blair.
get him in as leader now.
And what rubs things in more than anything else for Gordon Brown is that the Pope is Tony Blair's new boss, now that he's become a
Catholic, yes.
Catholic. Have you any idea how long it must have taken to hear Tony Blair's first confession? But Neville Chamberlain, nobody's ratings have fallen faster in history than Neville Chamberlain. Gordon Brown's have fallen faster.
You finally got back to the point, thank God.
than Neville Chamberlain.
What's Gordon Brown been doing this week?
He's been telling us not to panic. He had a meeting of all the bankers.
Yes. He had breakfast and asked them to pass on interest rates to customers. And what was the response to the meeting?
No, we won't.
No.
And this is the man that Bob and Co said was this extraordinary financial genius.
Mm.
Yes. Need to rub it in, isn't it? Yeah.
It was, of course, the collapse of Northern Rock that sparked the crisis in this country, and things are still a bit fraught there if this letter sent to a viewer is anything to go by. It's from the Northern Rock branch in Reading, and it reads, Dear Mrs X, thank you for your letter. Please note we have forwarded your letter onto our interest calculations department and you shall hear from them in due course. Please bear with us whilst we work through our backbog. So earlier this week, Gordon Brown faced a grilling from ITN's political editor, Tom Bradby. Should we have a look at that?
Yes.
No, I just want to, for 1 second, if you don't mind, reduce this to the level of people, a lot of people are looking at it. This is an egg.
And 5 minutes ago, it was not in my pocket. Explain!
Did he throw it at him?
Yeah.
He just went on to have a full-blown mental breakdown in front of the Prime Minister.
Was it a hard-boiled egg? Did he open the egg at any point?
I don't know, but there is a way of telling. Do you know how to tell?
Yeah, it doesn't float. One floats in water and the other one doesn't.
I don't think it's that. I'm talking about the one where you spin them.
Oh.
Spin them.
That's witches, isn't it?
Yeah. No, they're the ones you float in water.
Oh, they're the ones that float in water. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
And if they
What
sink,
if a
they're
witch has got a
innocent.
boiled egg in her pocket, though? Down the whole time. That's why, in the end, they abolished it.
What happened to David Cameron this week when he was out and about in Hastings?
Somebody sneezed.
Yes, that's right. Yes, and then wiped it on David Cameron's back.
On his bare back.
No,
No, he was eating
on his,
No, he wasn't naked.
and he
That's on Channel 4.
and a police officer found the man who had done it, and said, "Look," he said, "I don't care if that is the leader of the Tory party. You are going to apologise."
Anyway, it's all very horrible and disrespectful. Shall we have a look?
The second thing is to deliver on what people want, which is to regenerate the town, make sure that we clean the streets, we get rid of litter and graffiti, and make it a safe place with a good quality of life.
Conservatives have been the
And again, it's like, this is what happens in this country. In America, they assassinate people. Here, we just wipe snot on their backs. Fundamentally, we're better people.
According to The Independent, what are 1 in 10 people planning to cancel as a result of the credit crunch?
The Independent. Their credit cards.
No, wrong.
Handkerchiefs.
A trip to buy clothes. Adding the worst hit will be those who buy the most clothes. So Gordon is now in the States, as you mentioned earlier, but his arrival was overshadowed by the Pope's visit there. Who went to the airport to meet the Pope?
George Bush.
Yes, unusually.
First time in history, I think. He was very thrilled to meet the Pope.
Yes.
Until the Pope said, "Peace be with you." And then George didn't really get that.
And who went to the airport to meet our Prime Minister?
Was it a cleaner?
Well, we rang the US State Department press office earlier to ask who met Gordon Brown at the airport, and they said, "I'm sorry, I don't know. I'll have to look into it. Can you spell his name for me?" Now, of course, they're not the only people having trouble identifying Gordon Brown. Anyone see what Mugabe called him this week?
A dot.
Yes, he did. That's good.
A dot.
An infinitesimal dot in the something.
Well,
Infinitesimal dot into something. That's war. War talk.
you can't just get points by hearing the right answer and then giving a longer version of it. That's not going to
So
wash
how
with
is
me.
one supposed to get them then?
Well, that'll all come in time as you give the correct answers in the right manner and in a way that pleases me. So what was Neville Chamberlain got to do with all of this? Why was he in there?
Well, we've answered that, haven't we?
You didn't answer it at the right time, did you? That's the problem.
You should have answered it in 1939 and saved a lot of trouble.
Isn't it just because you recorded those clips over a documentary that, that had been on the tape before?
Yeah. In fairness, Bob, you did allude to the correct answer there. Gordon Brown is now officially less popular than Chamberlain was at the time of Hitler's invasion of Norway in 1940. In fact, he's less popular than Hitler was at the time of Hitler's invasion of Norway.
See, it's the fundamental tragedy of a man who's wanted a job for so many years and has got it and found out he can't do it.
Yes, it is sad.
I know, it's a fundamental tragedy, I know. It's terrible.
That doesn't sound very balanced.
It's a fundamental tragedy. The man who didn't want the job for so many years can do it. That's balance.
Much better.
Yeah.
It's been revealed that Brown is spending as much on spin doctors as Tony Blair. He's recently signed up former BBC producer Nicola Burdett, according to The Telegraph on Tuesday. Anyone know what her specific role is?
To make him seem more human.
Not really, no. I
Less
don't
human,
think
more
that's-
robotic.
She's been given the brief of avoiding any embarrassing photographs of the Prime Minister. And there he is. Also this week there was this. And also this. Although...
That looks like a Formula One team fixing a car, doesn't it? He's a robot and he's gone off.
Can we see the picture before this?
Oh, here we are.
Is he bored by his own speech?
So, who has Gordon Brown promised the job to when he leaves?
Is it to Ed Balls?
It is, absolutely.
Who's Ed Balls?
Well, I'll show you who Ed Balls is now.
Can you hear the what? Get on.
One kid clapped.
Yeah.
Big swing to Labour.
To be fair, it might have been the sound of his bollocks slapping against the road.
Gordon Brown's team have given him a makeover this week. It's incredible what a good haircut and a new suit will do. Let's have a look. And Tony Blair's really mellowed since leaving office. Yeah, this is Gordon Brown's smooth handling of the collapse of the British economy. This week, Brown summoned the leading banks to Downing Street for a crisis meeting to show how seriously they took his concerns. The Halifax sent their top man. House prices now appear to be in free fall, but there is one silver lining. Tony Blair bought his central London mansion at the very height of the boom. If the financial crisis continues, up to 40,000 city bankers could lose their jobs. Bad news for the economy of Colombia. Meanwhile, in the London mayoral elections, Boris Johnson was interviewed in the Sunday Times and was asked what he would do on his first day at City Hall. Well, take away free bus passes from children, only if they're naughty. Boris Johnson, tough on children, less tough on the causes of children. And in the interests of balance, the same could be said of Ken Livingstone, but not Brian Paddick. Paul and Peter, here's yours.
This is Steve Redgrave running with the Olympic torch, and this is the...
Police battering people, basically.
Yes, yeah. There's Trevor McDonald standing there, don't know what he's doing. And that's Gordon Brown again, just masked by the Chinese thugs that have come over, masquerading as athletes but turned out to be security. This is great.
Battering.
See,
it's all very... it's all in the name of sportsmanship.
I think it's
battering, you know?
I think the marathon should be run like that. It shouldn't be... 26 miles is easy. You've got to fight off people like it's a knockout. Giant teddy bears come at you and hit you with sticks. A rabid dog is let loose 15 miles in. Not living it up a bit, because, you know, they've got the wrong idea. They've got these people running a marathon over here, you know, somebody dresses as a giant pair of traffic lights or something and falls over through heat exhaustion. No, they should be the people running out disturbing the athletes.
They're good ideas, though, Paul.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I think we've already seen what happened on that leg of the... Here is Sir Trevor McDonald.
Look at these guys in blue. They were called flame attendants. To cover the fact they're members of the Chinese security services.
Yes.
Who are there to hit people who
When
try
they-
and stop the flame.
So when they hit them, did it go bung? Bung.
I don't want to bring the subject back to Brown again, but...
Oh, no, really?
No, it was quite funny the way he said he couldn't possibly attend the opening ceremony, because that would be appalling.
Yes.
So he's going to attend the closing ceremony, which is completely different and not appalling.
Difficult to defend that, isn't it?
No, he's got to go. It's the end of the Olympic Games. We're hosting the next. He's got to take the torch back to Britain.
How do you
What,
know?
all the way?
Yeah.
All the way?
It has hand luggage.
The torch is now, I believe, is in India, isn't it? It's,
Yeah, well, they're saying that.
Yeah, they're saying, yeah. Well, you just come back from India.
I have,
Did you not see it?
No, I didn't see it, no.
No.
The torch was over here when I was over there, and now the torch is over there, now I'm over here. I'm trying to... I think between me and the Olympic torch, there's some sort of cable car system going on.
Look at that. So,
I tried to do this joking when I was in China, because there's President who, and so I'd say, who's the president? And they'd say, yes. I said, well, who's the president? They said, yes. Well, who? And they never got it. Who invented a steam engine? What? The steam engine. What? The steam engine? You know, it's that gag. Who's the president? Yes, I know. No wonder they're in trouble.
And what's the Prime Minister called?
He's called When. When did he become Prime Minister?
Yeah.
That's right. Who the president's going to see the Prime Minister when?
I know.
Well, why are you asking me?
We're on to Blue Peter presenter Connie Huck. Should we have a look at that?
Yeah.
I'm just going to say Connie Huck now. It says, oh, someone, as I speak, someone has tried to grab the torch from Connie Huck, the former Blue Peter presenter. A man has tried to grab the torch. He's been hauled to the ground by police officers. He did have his hands on the torch.
Unbelievable. How dare he? You got a Blue Peter badge at the end.
Luckily, Connie was able to call on years of experience and quickly rustle together a new torch out of coat hangers and sticky back plastic.
And a Labrador.
Yeah. What did Fu Ying have to say about all this?
Who?
Who's Fu Ying?
Fu Ying is the Chinese ambassador.
Yeah.
She said this was appalling, this British behaviour, and everyone was amazed. She quoted someone saying, "Is this the land of Dickens and Shakespeare?"
No, they're dead. Been dead for ages.
But her point was that it was bad manners to protest in this way, and that Dickens certainly wouldn't have gone on about sweatshops and forced labour and...
Yes, it is bad manners. She went out to beat up a monk. When the torch arrived in Downing Street, how did Gordon behave around it?
He was relaxed and jovial and...
He refused to hold the torch, but unlucky as ever, the torch still managed to set fire to his hair. You see. So another day off for Nicola Burdett, obviously. Britain, of course... what happened when the torch reached Argentina?
Barbecue?
No, Diego Maradona refused to hold the torch because he didn't want to risk burning his football-playing hand. This is the controversial journey of the Olympic torch on its way to China. A number of London celebrities backed out of carrying the torch. At one point, Pete Doherty offered to take it, but only because he thought it was a massive spliff. The Olympic torch was introduced for the 1936 Games in Berlin and was described by Hitler as a beacon of world peace. Why is it people only remember the bad stuff about the Nazis? And so to round two, the picture spin quiz. Fingers on buzzers, teams.
There's an engineer in Hackney who is known as the Mole, and he loves digging tunnels
underneath
under his own house,
that's right,
and his neighbours' houses, and the street outside.
And was this only found out because one of his neighbours found the Bakerloo line in her airing cupboard?
That's it.
That's right, the Bakerloo line in her airing cupboard.
I don't mean to be thick, but that's not actually him, is it?
Well, I mean, it would explain his tunnel digging, wouldn't it? I mean, how closely has he been questioned? Have they realised they're talking to a mole in a T-shirt? This hairy bloke saying nothing, Sarge. Leave him in the dark, he'll soon crack.
His name is William Little, and is using a homemade pulley. He excavated hundreds of feet under the house, and the foundations of the property have been cut away, or as a local estate agent put it, modern open-plan living with extensive wine cellar. Wants a picture of his house? There it is. It still looks OK.
Yeah. His car's a bit of a mess.
You think that?
One woman who lives opposite Mole Man told The Times a great big hole appeared in the pavement one day, then cracks appeared in the road, which is a bus route. And that's the problem with buses, isn't it? You wait all day for one to come along and then it falls into a man-made crevasse. Fingers on buzzers.
That's a picture of Harry Conway.
Freddie.
It's Henry.
Do you want...
Henry?
Yeah, it's Henry.
He is one of the young men who did nothing at university, which is unsurprising, because many people do nothing at university, except that he was paid, I think, £30,000 for doing it.
Yes, he's Henry. Is he... I'm going to get all these names. Henry Conway is the father, isn't he?
No, Derek Conway's the father.
Good. And Russ Conway, is he the uncle?
I don't get points for this, so why should I answer?
You're the editor of a national journal. You should know these names.
Yeah, no, this story's so old.
Yeah, it's an old story. Why are we looking at this when we could be looking at pictures of Neville Chamberlain? It's a good point, isn't it?
He's the son of disgraced MP Derek Conway.
Neville Chamberlain is?
Yeah, no. This is Henry.
This is Henry, OK.
He refers to himself as Queen Sloane.
No, he was paid by the taxpayer to do nothing, as was his brother.
Yes, that's right.
And a whole lot of... This was an amazing scandal, wasn't it, Bob?
Yes.
MPs shoveling money towards their own family.
Absolutely right.
You ever employed any of your family, Bob? Have you done that?
No, I couldn't. I just simply couldn't stand the inefficiency and the aggro.
In other money-related news, well, investigations into MP's expenses have revealed that in 2003, John Prescott spent £4,000 on food. And no, we're not going to say that he spent it all on chips, because we happen to know at least £1,000 of that went on brown sauce. And what did it tell us about David Cameron?
I had no idea. I didn't know what I'm being asked, what the story is.
No one's got any bloody idea, have
I vote for tuna.
I'm beginning to regret the whole round.
Let's forget it ever happened.
It's been a total disaster. Who cares what they spent?
Nobody.
Bob, what is the whole John Lewis thing?
Are we going on with this round?
I'm afraid we are. We're going to persevere with it, because I've even got a prop.
Oh, good.
All right, yeah, you get it out.
Is it?
Yes, you get it out. Okay, so
that's not a prop, that's a magazine.
It's a magazine. It's a
if
John
it's
Lewis
being used
magazine.
under these circumstances, it becomes a
You
prop.
was shopping, John Lewis.
Well, you tell me.
Good God, look at that!
Don't we get a magazine? We'll make up our own magazine. Cool, look at that. Oh, blimey.
Did you get anything from the famous John Lewis list,
No.
Bob, for yourself?
No, none of us knew anything about the John Lewis list.
Is that right?
This is the best advertising John Lewis has ever had. This is prime-time television, a man reading a catalogue.
Are we allowed to bring our own books during the show to pass the time? To pass the time? Are we allowed to do that next week?
Of course, in the interest of balance, I should point out that there are other high street department stores.
No, there isn't.
Seriously, what were you going to do with the catalogue? What were you going to do with it?
I was going to flick through it and say, Bob, have you bought anything from this fucking catalogue? I
thought it was a furniture catalogue.
This is the son of Tory MP Derek Conway, who
Where?
was paid £52,000 of taxpayers' money to work in his father's office when he was, in fact, studying at university. Henry sometimes accompanies celebrities to... I'll start that again. Not that it matters, because this whole lot's gone, I promise you.
The trouble is, it's the best bit of the show. That's the trouble, it's the best bit. They'll keep all this. Everything else will go.
Henry sometimes accompanies celebrities to showbiz events, or, as the Daily Mail put it, the flamboyant 25-year-old can be found acting as a walker. Yes, that's one letter shy of the truth, I think, isn't it? So, fingers on buzzers, teams.
A gentleman, a violinist, by coincidence also played the violin. He left his violin on a train and was very upset because it was a very ancient violin. As he was getting off the train, he sort of walking down the platform, feeling very, very happy with himself. He suddenly realised, oh, my God, I've left my Stradivarius on the 12:45 to Reading.
That's exactly right,
Yeah.
yes.
Was it the 12:45?
Congratulations. Yes, it was.
Was it going to Reading?
As far as I was concerned, well, that's the one I found it on. Ooh. No, he actually took it up to London to have it valued.
Yeah.
That was the sad bit. He had it, and it was valued
And
at...
he forgot what...
It was valued at £165,000.
£180,000.
Oh, it's gone up.
Yeah, and so they've...
That was simply by the way he described it, presumably.
It sounds like this.
He said it was sort of...
He took the violin... No, he took... Can I just explain what happened to the violin?
Well, I don't know. Not so far.
He took...
Well, give it another go.
He took the violin
Yeah.
from Somerset to London by train, had it valued at a violin valuation place.
Yeah.
One of those violin valuation joints.
They're all over the place.
They're like Starbucks, they're everywhere.
They said it's worth £180,000. Yeah, thank you very much. He went back, got on the train, put it up in the luggage compartment, and then got off the train and saw the train going off and realised he hadn't taken the violin off the train. That's what happened.
And has it turned up?
No.
The train hasn't turned up? Is it a ghost train that's gone back to the 19th century?
Doesn't that say a lot for him, as a man, that you're told that something in your possession is worth £180,000? You think, wow, that's great. Oh, I'll just put it up there.
Yeah, I think so. He's obviously not very materialistic.
No.
Or clever. 67-year-old Mr. Napier said, it was a terrible moment. I realised I'd left it as the train was steaming off. So when did this happen? 1947? Perhaps Trevor Howard's got it. Who else lost some luggage recently?
All the people who tried to fly from Heathrow.
Yeah.
Terminal 5.
They absolutely did.
Yeah,
And Kate Moss actually was one of them. Did you...
£10,000 she got compensation.
Compensation. Why, though?
Just like that. Because what she had in her suitcase...
Was grade A.
Was grade A.
How upset was Kate, according to the Star? Do you want to know?
Yeah.
According to the Star's Ace column, the Goss, the eye-cake shock gland was throbbing.
The eye cake
I know.
shock gland was throbbing.
It takes some...
Is that a typo?
yeah.
Eye cake?
I think
It's like eye candy,
Yeah.
except not as good.
Oh, I
Looks
thought
like
it was
the
some sort of
journalist
new
was on
kind of
grade A.
cake that played sort of tunes. The eye cake.
And time now for the odd one out round. Just one between you this week. Your four are that woman off How Clean Is Your House, Jeremy Paxman, Six Maasai Warriors, and Jenny Marcy from Hartlepool.
Good.
Yes, Ian and Bob.
There's Paxman. This is an underpant question, because the Maasai Warriors...
Don't wear them.
Is that right?
When they become warriors, then they take off their pants.
I become a warrior every night. Most nights.
And then in the morning, you're not a warrior
I'm
again.
not a warrior anymore, no. Well, you know, first half hour.
You have to kill a lion as well.
God, don't tell
Two
me
things
about
you
it.
have to do: take your pants off, take your pants off, and kill a lion,
Yeah.
and then that's fine. Then you're a man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, the extra thing, you've actually got to put your pants on a lion. That's the real test of manhood.
That was the old test.
Oh, they've changed
Before,
it.
yeah.
I don't tell you anything.
Regulations.
That's the-
Oh,
Yeah.
health and safety.
Yeah. No one's come up with the odd one out yet.
Jeremy Paxman's the odd one out. He's the only one who's had any problems with underpants. The rest are completely have a completely free and easy relationship with underpants.
No, yes, that is correct, actually. Yes, it is.
God, that was an alternative reality then for a minute.
Oh God,
No,
this is terrible, isn't it?
Is that right?
It wasn't correct, but I decided to make it correct because I want to move on.
Yeah, OK.
Have they all complained about pants? Is that the
yeah.
link except her?
They've all been grateful for their pants, except for
For Paxman.
Paxman, yeah.
So Paul was right.
Yes
Gosh,
and
that's
no.
irritating.
I've said both options, so we can edit around it whichever way.
But our answer was a better answer, wasn't it?
Right, we can get on with it now, can't we? Now everyone's got their property back. So, Paxman said in his email, M&S pants no longer provide adequate support. When I've discussed this with friends and acquaintances, it has revealed widespread gusset anxiety. And Aggie Mackenzie, you want to know about her story? She
just dipped her hands in boiling hot water.
Well, she's been on a programme called Dancing on Ice. And what was wrong with...
about?
It's... there was something wrong with her normal pants. You know, they were too big and they dangled below her high-thigh costume. In an earlier show, she had worn no pants at all.
And what about Mrs. Woman at the bottom there who's stretching those pants? What about her?
I know what this is. Well, this woman was at home frying some bread, you know.
Yeah.
And the pan caught fire.
Oh, right, yeah.
And she put out the fire with the knickers.
It was actually, I think it was her children put out the fire while she was having a pub lunch, but they used her pants to do it with, as you do.
How could she have been having a pub lunch and frying bread at home?
Does she work in a pub?
No.
She's got a frying pan that you can control it by email. I think that's what it is.
And is there any connection between the fact that pants and pan are very, very similar words?
Oh, dear, I can see this is going to go just like the violin round, isn't it?
Has she had her pants valued at £180,000? They're made by Stradivarius, one of the only pair of underpants he ever made. He got fed up with violins one day, blah, 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 made a pair of pants.
Yeah.
Stradivarius pants, made out of catgut.
Sort of G-string.
Yeah, G-string. Oh, yeah.
And the Maasai warriors had to wear M&S pants when they ran the marathon so that their blankets wouldn't flap up and offend people.
Are they very offensive blankets?
Yeah, apparently.
Blanket's a euphemism for something.
I've never been offended by a blanket, have you?
They were staying, the Maasai warriors were also staying in a guest house in Kent, and do you know what their special dietary requirements were, according to Mrs. Martin, who runs the guest house?
And milk.
Blood and milk.
Actually,
Blood
yeah,
and
you are
milk.
right, yeah.
Blood and milk.
They didn't ask Mrs. Martin for blood when they were there. They actually asked her for Cocoa Pops and tea with lots of sugar in it.
Blood on it.
A zebra omelette.
They usually like to drink their own blood, or not their own blood, but they drink blood that they bring with them.
What, human blood?
No, not human blood.
No.
Not human blood.
Well, you said blood. That's the first thing I...
Peter, I made a small mistake. I said they like to drink their own blood, and now you're taking me to casting on it.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah, I mean, because there's only 8 pints of it.
Try to let it go, OK?
A pint, that's
They will drink...
they like to eat their own flesh. Sorry, I mean, they like to eat bacon.
They,
Sorry, I meant mistake. They like to punch themselves in the head. No, sorry, I meant bingo.
they,
Slippery slope.
They drink 5 litres at a time, blood, and as one of them said, it gives me lots of energy, but it makes the Cocoa Pops go a funny colour.
I've been inside a Maasai hut.
Have you?
Yeah, I got offered blood.
Good, was it?
I didn't drink the blood.
No.
I came over a bit English. I said, oh, that looks lovely, that blood, but I've just eaten, so... well, I won't have the blood, thank you.
And they were given some advice about being in this country. If you see something that someone else has, like a bracelet, then the person will find it unusual if you were to take it from them and wear it. Unless, of course, you're in Liverpool, where it's pretty much standard practice.
Oi!
Yeah.
Oi!
I knew you wouldn't like that, Peter. I'm sorry. You're from Liverpool, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, stay off my stuff, you thieving bastard. They've all been grateful for their M&S pants, apart from Jeremy Paxman, who claims his pair no longer provide adequate support and cause him gusset anxiety. This story gave the Times an excuse to throw together a short history of pants, which included this little-known fact. Colour was introduced during the Second World War. That was during the Blitz, so you can probably imagine what colour. The Maasai warriors ran the London Marathon in traditional robes, carrying their shields and brandishing their spears, which made for a nervy few hours for that bloke in the rhino outfit. The warriors were given a 4-page set of guidelines on life in Britain, including this information about British behaviour. Many people do not smile because they work in jobs that they don't enjoy. And if you're a visitor to this country, don't worry, we're not all like that. Yes, time now for the Missing Words round, which this week features as its guest publication, Onion World, international onion news at your fingertips. A great read. Every story has so many layers.
2004.
And we start with Granny attempts to flatten what?
Tesco boss's house.
Tesco boss's home.
Oh, well, this is a brilliant story. Tesco want to demolish this woman's house to make a giant store. So she's put in a planning application to demolish Terry Leahy's home. Brilliant.
Next, lungless frog is found what?
Smoking without consequence.
In jungle.
No, well, where?
In Amazon.
Where?
In Colombia.
No.
Peru.
No.
Nigeria.
No, enough guesses. It's in Borneo. According to one leading biologist, the frogs are like a squished version of Jabba the Hutt in Star Wars. Oh, hang on, Professor. What would that be in layman's terms? Next, 93-year-old who has what causes £60,000 worth of damage?
Found violin on train.
No claims bonus or clean records.
Uncontrollable urge to mate with Volkswagens.
Yeah.
Erection.
It's the answer is spotless driving record. He had a 76-year no claims bonus. Though to be fair, for the first 15 years, cars hadn't been invented. Next, what forced to flee angry penguin?
Little nun.
Little nun.
The residents of Gotham City.
The answer is gay developer.
Is he a developer who's gay, or is he developing gayness?
He's a developer who is gay. This is the town of Penguin in Tasmania. Property developer Stephen Roach says he's been forced out by residents' homophobia. A 3-metre-high penguin takes pride of place as the town's main attraction. Each their own, but if you only got time for one, I'd go for the Sydney Opera House, personally. So, next, spitting vicar told to what?
Baptise children properly.
The correct answer is leave parish. This is the vicar of Trumpington, which, of course, is in the diocese of Camberwick Green. Next, downy mildew, purple blotch and brown stain can spoil what?
The mood.
Yes. I thought these were names of celebrities' children. Hey, downy mildew.
It can spoil an onion crop, is
Yeah,
the
of course it
answer.
can. Yeah.
And lastly, bow-legged burglar, what?
Plays violin with his knees.
Couldn't go straight even if he wanted to. Couldn't stop a pig in a passage.
The answer is betrayed by gait. This is the burglar identified by the unusual way he walked. The bow-legged burglar didn't seem to have a getaway car waiting for him, although police did later find an abandoned space hopper. The burglar with a distinctive gait has now been sent to prison for 2 years. And if he thinks he walks funny now... So, the final scores. Ian and Bob have 8, and Paul and Peter have 6. On which note, we say thank you to our panellists, Ian Hislop and Bob Marshall-Andrews, Paul Merton and Peter Serafinowicz. And I leave you with news that as the election for London Mayor continues, Boris Johnson's transport advisor denies he's out of touch with the realities of modern life in the capital. There's consternation at Buckingham Palace as the Queen falls into a tumble dryer. And in London, one housewife discovers that there is something worse than opening the door to a couple of Jehovah's Witnesses. Good night.
Another new series next as BBC Two travels across the country in the company of our funniest stars and the comedy map of Britain.